Hi, I'm American. I'm sorry for everything.
Good evening. Welcome to Have I Got News for You? I'm Charlie Brooker. In the news this week... On Ian's team tonight is an actress who, in an interview in 2015, said she was considering emigrating to the United States. I think she's just changed her mind. Please welcome Maureen Lipman. And with Paul tonight is a comedian who, on a programme this week, promised that if Trump won the election, he would never appear on television again. So please welcome shamefaced liar Rich Hall. The safest place to be.
I know.
We start...
Nope, I'm not coming up.
We start with the biggest stories of the week. Paul and Rich, can you see? Take a look at this.
Yes, let's have a look. I wonder what it's going to be. Oh, yeah, this is news that Toblerone has changed the shape of its chocolate. What's happened is the traditional sort of pyramid shape of the Toblerone, in order to save costs, have actually made the Toblerone gaps bigger. As you can see, a lot of these people are very angry about it. There we are.
Have you noticed anything else that's happened this week, Paul? Tuesday evening?
Oh, bingo night.
I can fill you in.
Oh, Rich knows. He's more of an American than I am.
America's elected its last president.
It's too depressing, it is, and I understand this is a comedy show, although I haven't seen any so far. Well,
We just had a whole lot of footage of Trump. It's not a comedy show. Do you see his family? It's fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
You got 4 years of comedy gold coming up. Cheer up. It may involve nuclear weapons and other countries, but it's going to be funny.
Did you see how the news was reported in the world's press?
Yeah, there were some brilliant headlines.
Here is one. That's the Newcastle Herald. Newcastle Herald. There's this one, a German newspaper. Finally, my favourite, this pithy Mexican entry. Do you think this means that misogyny and racial hatred are the way forward?
Not the way that Toblerone have handled it, no.
Everything he says can be underscored by the sound of a beer can opening. We need to get rid of these Mexicans. He always wants to build a wall. I was in York last week. 3 Mexican restaurants in the middle of town. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's it.
It sounds like they're actually very progressive, his voters. They voted for... I mean, you know, it's bad news for minorities and women and all the other people, the many people he's insulted, but on the plus side, progressively, they've elected the first openly crazy man to the most powerful office in the world.
Yeah, because they
Which
believe...
is a step forward. They've broken the rubber-padded ceiling.
It's great to be back on a cliff edge, you know?
Yeah.
With Hillary, you knew what you were going to get.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to get a woman who... I don't know anything about emails either, but she deletes her history, but now we got a guy who's going to delete all history.
How did Trump echo Martin Luther King in his victory speech?
Well, Martin Luther King had a dream, and this guy's a nightmare.
He's a man who's so used to getting his own way, and now he won't be able to get his own way, despite the fact that everybody says, oh, you're the most powerful man in the world. He'll blow up. He'll say something about Angela Merkel. He'll try and knock off the Queen. He'll do something. He won't be able to control himself. It's a long way even before the inauguration.
I thought for a minute you said he's going to try and knock up the Queen, which...
When you get a man who stands in front of his country and says, I don't pay my... Oh, I don't pay my tax.
It's uncanny. It's like he's here.
I don't pay my tax, and they think that's great. He's smart. He says, I don't pay my tax because the law doesn't make me. And they vote him in.
It's difficult to know what he could have said that would have put people off voting for him, as he seems to have said everything.
Yeah.
He could have said,
I can
I
shoot
am
a guy
Hillary Clinton.
You just have to accept there's a lot of dumb people on the planet.
Yeah. And
That's why there's ITV.
Are there any silver linings?
Yeah,
we
he's
can
going to
think
have a
of?
court case as soon as he gets in, because there are 3 places taking him to court for Trump University. which he created to teach people about real estate. And he didn't get any proper staff, and he's made millions. He was charging them like $35,000 to just turn up and have someone chat to them about the housing market.
Are you suggesting that Donald Trump is a crook?
No, I'm suggesting that he's a moron, misogynist, sexist, vulgarian orange head.
Orange head.
Which leads us back to Toblerone's new flavour for Christmas.
I've got a silver lining here.
Have you gone in?
One silver lining.
Yeah.
Katie Hopkins
Yes.
said she'll move to the USA if Trump got elected. So,
That's a good one.
Actually, I'm just gonna book her an Uber to get there. Can you think of any other silver linings?
I've never watched an election a U.S. election unfold overnight from London, from watching the BBC overnight. And that's the way, if you want to watch America go down the dumper, watch it through the befuddled nocturnal fog of a man named Andrew Neil. Watching a man, he's just barely on top of everything. And he just sits there, and he had other people beside. He looks like he's squeezed in like this. And then when they're not there, he still looks like he's squeezed in. Like his body's trying to eject itself. And he comes out, and he's trying to explain the Electoral College, and he doesn't quite, nobody quite gets it, because it's impossible to explain, and it just, somebody's got to get it 270, and now you're watching his scoreboard at a bowling alley, and then finally they give up, and they just bring out this guy who just dances on a map. He just he dances on a map, and he's trying to show all the states with his feet. He's going like, oh, there's Wisconsin, and there's Ohio, and oh, there's a red state turning blue. Oh, I mean, Christ. Trump is becoming president, and the guy's playing Twister. And then finally, you know, there's just at the top of Andrew Neil's head, spray-on thatch thing. And comes back up at 6:30 and says, Trump's president, and great, Trump's president, I'm watching an acorn talk to me.
The longest TV review I've ever heard. There's no point in listening to anybody. I decided this after reading newsprint for the last 2 years. Everyone was wrong about absolutely everything.
No one saw it coming.
Nearly all political punditry, nearly all political analysis turned out to be completely wrong. So it means you just don't have to read this stuff. You just guess. Everything they said would happen didn't happen. Everybody said Trump couldn't possibly win at every point, and it was all rubbish. No one knew anything.
Is that one good thing, that perhaps there'll be no more polls, because they're always wrong?
What will they do instead of polls? They could just cut to a jazz band for 5 minutes on the news.
I think we should do entrails.
Yeah. Look at the polls themselves. Has anybody here ever taken part in a poll? There you go. People aren't savvy enough to cut a wide berth when they see somebody coming at them with a clipboard.
The Sun did have a point. I mean, the Sun had a...
The Sun did have a point.
The Sun had a
stop
point.
it.
They had a silver lining. They printed a silver lining today. They said he may be much less crazy than he sounds. Just grasping at straws. Or
This whole thing could be an undercover operation in order for him to become American president, where he can then reveal his true self.
Yeah, it's Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Who might be selected for Trump's team?
Ku Klux Klan?
Sarah Palin?
Well, Sarah Palin is rumoured to be in the running for Secretary of State.
You see?
Love Sarah, love her. Who else? Someone closer to home.
Tony Toblerone. He's a Mexican. He's been brought in. Calm the waters.
There's someone who wants a job.
Nigel Farage. Yeah, he's over there.
Oh,
he's
God.
gone already. It's so sad to see him go, isn't it?
Yeah, he wants to be Trump's ambassador to the EU.
Yep.
He's going to be the ambassador.
Oh, no, go for it. Go
What's
for
going
it.
to happen?
We've established the whole thing is comedy. Let's just go for it.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what was one of the first casualties of the election results?
Yeah, go on.
The
The
what?
Canadian Visitors website shut down.
Yeah,
Right.
Canada's citizenship and immigration website crashed because so many Americans were inquiring about moving there. I fancy somewhere further away than Canada, like Mars. Yeah. There's been these adverts on the BBC for somewhere called Planet Earth 2.
That's where we go.
Trump's potential to put the cat amongst the pigeons was
Yes.
spotted back in the early 90s. Who by?
Oh, is this Michael Moore or The Simpsons?
No, it's neither of them. It's Saint and Greavesy. What? St. Greavesy. Here's an interesting clip.
The draw for the 5th round of the Rumbelows League Cup. Assisting me with the draw are Jimmy Greaves, who will draw the home team, and Donald Trump, who will draw the away team.
Number 5.
Leeds United
Against number 6.
will play Manchester United.
Oh, Donald, you don't realise what you've done there.
This is the shock news for America that after all these years of trying to impose it on the rest of the world, democracy may, in fact, be shit. The Obamas are already making plans for handing over the White House to Donald Trump. They've hidden the nuclear codes and broken the hairdryer. Yet again, the opinion pollsters utterly failed to see the shock result coming. First Brexit, now this. Frankly, I'm off to put a tenner on Honey G to win the X Factor and Ched Evans to be voted Sports Personality of the Year.
Donald Trump has been elected president of the United States of America.